weekend was dominated by one strategy in particular, taking down Regional Championship Hartford MonoRed with 4 copies of Magebane Lizard in the hands of Percy Fang. Congratulations, making it to the World Championship not for the first time this year, for the second time. Yes, they did already qualify for the World Championship by top 2ing, losing in the finals in the Arena Championship earlier in March. So I think this might be the only person that qualified for the World Championship twice this year so far, which is obviously very impressive. But the invite was sort of how do you say? Got the third place of the event in Hartford got the invite. So the invite didn't just vanish into the ether. It got passed down. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, and not only did Percy win the regional championship, his teammate on Sunday on the same deck won the 10K. Basically, everybody who's not didn't make day 2, which is a lot of people, right? It's a huge event in the US. Played a 10K that also want to play standard. Like, there's other events on Sunday as well, but a lot of people played a 10K, so it's another huge tournament on Sunday for all the people that didn't make day 2. And again, it was won by the same deck, the same deck list, the same plan, the same sideboard plans. Really, really, really impressive stuff by the team. And yeah, I mean, the main innovation is just to replace Lightning Strike with 4 copies of Magebane Lizard. Pretty simple. You know, we've seen this deck around for a long time. And yeah, just here the new tech. Put 4 Magebane Lizards into your main deck. Yeah, I mean, in a meta game of 35% prowess, this thing does the trick. High toughness, really annoying to deal with from the prowess side. They kind of need those red removal spells, those like Rebel Salvos and whatnot, which can be inefficient as well, right? They cost 3 mana potentially, or maybe they just cost 2 mana, but then the lizard still deals you 1. Just all in all, really annoying to play against for Izzet prowess, and the big reason why the deck was so successful. I mean, MonoRed, still one of the strongest decks in the format. It kind of got replaced by Izzet Prowess as the premier aggro deck, as that deck is just more powerful. But if you just put 4 hate cards into the main deck of MonoRed, you just solve the Prowess matchup, apparently. Pretty impressive stuff. Yeah, there's really not much else to say. There's one thing, I suppose, that is notable, is that if you cut all the lightning strikes, then an opposing turn 2 Drake-Hatcher is all of a sudden a little threatening, especially when on the draw, as you cannot deal with it cleanly, and they can just, yeah, pump it up maybe for Monstrous Rage on turn 3, and then really just snowball out of control with the Drake-Hatcher. So that is something that this deck is weak to, you could say. But besides that, I mean, yeah, you can side out the Lizard when it's bad in certain matchups, but you know, the card isn't even that atrocious. It's certainly not great against like a black mid-range deck, but you know, at some point they might have to play some removal spells. They lose some life from it. You know, it does a little bit here and there at the very least. And also notably, it is a Lizard, even though it's not from the Bloomborrow set. It is a Lizard, so you can give it haste and attack as a 2/4. With Rockface Village comes up for sure. Yeah, sideboard, we're looking at 2 copies of Barrage. Of course, always have that in MonoRed in the sideboard. A couple Torch the Towers for more cheap removal. 2 copies of Scorching Shots for more 5 damage removal. Going with 4 Frenzies here is also pretty aggressive in that direction. Really wanting to kill Childreds and Preachers who have seen a little bit of an uptick in response to Izzet Prowess not having a deal 4, deal 5 effects. And now MonoRed can come in, play Frenzy, and punish all these black creatures for tapping out by being a 1 mana or a 2 mana deal 5. In addition to that, never forget Screaming Nemesis Frenzy. That is also a nice combo where you can just shoot your own Nemesis and deal them 5 to the face. So 2 more of those Scorching Shots for the big creatures. 1 case of Crimson Pulse, just a nice grindy card against like black and control decks. 3 copies of Ghost Vacuum for Omniscience. One copy of Filigree Sylex, interestingly enough. I suppose this is for Pixie, maybe, and also for, is it Prowess? That's my assumption. And then 4 copies of Sunspine Lynx. This is sort of, yeah, this is just your best card against all the control decks in the format. Against Domain and Jeskai, it's insanely good. And then even against blue-white control, sure, they have like 6, 7, 8 basics maybe, but it comes down later in the game and then still deals them like 3 to 5 life, depending on how long the game progressed. God, I'm difficulty finding words today that start with P. All right, anyhow, that's it for the introduction. Yeah, let's jump into some gameplay with MonoRed aggro. Okay, yeah, I cannot do that. Not enough lands. Okay, this is pretty bad, but at least I have 2 utility lands, and going to 5 sounds like a bad idea too. Spyglass Siren Island, maybe Dimir. Another mountain is not what you want to see. The thing about MonoRed, of course, is that this can happen, right? Like, I mean, with Izzet Prowess, it's also pretty bad to keep this many lands, but Izzet Prowess has a little bit more late game in the form of Storm Chaser's Talents activation. But this is so bad to just play the mouse here. And then it just gets killed and I got nothing. I mean, I got a little bit unlucky holding a mulliganing to 4 land hand and then just drawing 2 lands. It's pretty brutal. I guess I'm just going to play it and just hope I just draw spells from here on out. I think that's pretty much the only way I can win this matchup. Being on a mulligan and drawing this many lands is really rough. What I was about to say, yeah, I mean, there is a Prowess deck with Stalk Up, with Storm Chaser's Talent, does have some inevitability. To be fair, you have Rockface Village and Soulstone Sanctuary, but MonoRed is certainly worse at on the card advantage front. There we draw a card that we will side out in this matchup. Unfortunately, I can't even kill the Preacher. That's going to make them a vampire and a 1/1. Due to the Underground River getting them up on the same life as me. Yeah. You lose some, you win some, I guess. I suppose I'm just going to do it now because they do play counterspells. And they do have the counterspell. Oh, wow. Spellpierce even. Holy cow. Yeah, we're going to game 2 in a second here. I think I'm like at 2% to win this game at this point. Another river. Maybe they drain themselves to death. Okay. I guess I'm just playing my cards. Just hoping that's 4 lands in hand. And yeah. I guess I'm not even attacking here, because if I attack, I put them to 15, which means the Preacher triggers again and makes a vampire and draws him a card. But with the Underground Rivers, they can actually also manipulate it in a way to do all they want. Just kind of need the Preacher and the Underground River here. Oh, they missed out on it. They should have probably painted themselves to get a vampire there. Yeah, I can't block. I have to leave this Emberheart Challenger in play. Yeah, okay. I guess, yeah, I mean, whatever. They could have just played this Curiosity pre-combat to get another vampire. But it's okay. It's a minor detail. And it doesn't really matter too much here. Okay, I guess we're gonna activate here. Hired Claw. I think I'm just gonna play Nemesis and pass the turn. Ha! Take one. All right. I'm gonna go to 11. Yeah, okay. I think there's no combination of cards I can draw here, and I'm gonna be dead in 2 turns. So I did click concede already, but okay, it took a little bit. All right, let's take out these lizards. Let's add in the case and torch and Scorching Shot. Lynx. Let me see. I actually have a sideboard guide here. Okay, takes out the Swiftspears, adds in all the Lynx actually, and takes out the Lightning Strike, which I don't play. This is a sideboard guide of a teammate of theirs who also qualified for the PT made like top 20. Like they were all a team of people, but they had like slightly different lists. I can link the sideboard guide in the description for you guys as well. Okay, take out the Swifties and add in Lynx. But okay, so he doesn't have the case. He just doesn't put in the case in this matchup. Interesting. He likes the Lynx more than the case. That is interesting. And he leaves. How does he have space for all of this? 4, 7 cards to take out, and I only have 4, 6 cards to take out, and I have these to put in. Don't understand. Oh, he only has 1 torch in the sideboard. Oh, he only takes in 1 torch in the matchup. Isn't torch like kind of good against Curiosity and all these cheap creatures? Well, in my history, well, I don't know. I mean, sideboard cards are weird, I guess. In my opinion, torch is good in a matchup like this. Like Nemesis is a little questionable. I think I'm just gonna do it the way. Like I think maybe this is a little too much, to be honest. I feel like I'd rather have 5 and maybe didn't play the Lynx. The case. It's just too much of a race that the case isn't good. Is the reasoning here? And the Lynx is better in a racing situation? I don't know. I would naturally not think that Lynx is that great in a matchup like this. Again, like sideboard guides are not necessarily to be followed accurately. You can sort of see them as a suggestion, but you don't have to follow them completely, right? In any case, I think from the data we have from Frank Carsten, the way that Dimir is attacking the Prowess meta by playing like a lot of Preachers and Shieldreds again, is sort of like splash damaging the MonoRed decks, right? Which, oh, that's super cute. Which isn't good for MonoRed. Which makes, in the data that I saw, that the matchup is bad for MonoRed. As they just play like the good cheap black removal and then have the black creatures. Of course, like MonoRed can win against anybody. I mean, if you have a good curve and you have the Frenzy for the Preacher turn free, like the last game was, you know, one of those MonoRed games that is just, that's how it goes sometimes. I think I'm just gonna continuously apply pressure here and not really think. I'm just gonna play my cards and put them sideways. I assume, I mean, they might have a Flood Pits, I guess. Flood Pits would certainly be a little bit annoying. But it's, if I don't play the Nemesis, it doesn't really like change things. It doesn't get better for me. I think I'm just gonna attack with the Hired Claw. I don't think I want to take the trade here. Okay, interesting. I mean, that's reasonable, I guess. Maybe that was too aggressive by me, attacking with the Hired Claw even. I feel like it's okay for me to make that trade. It's kind of good for them. They froze my Nemesis for 2 turns and killed my 1-drop. That was a good Flood Pits drone, I guess. Now they're getting aggressive even. Manifold Mouse. This kind of smells like another Flood Pits. I'm just gonna cast this for 4 mana. They're probably gonna tap this guy down. If I play my Nemesis, they tap my Nemesis, and then I can't attack with the Emberheart, so I think this is just a better play. It walks into Gix's command down the line. Oh, Tidebinder. Wow. I did walk into that one, I guess. Huh. Okay. Alright, fair enough. That's the tricky part of playing against Dimir. They could have had Go for the Throat, Cut Down, Tidebinder, Flood Pits. Like a counterspell. Oh, they're getting aggressive, yeah. Okay. Monstrous Rage. I could also see trimming a Monstrous Rage in this matchup, as there's a lot of interaction flying around, and Monstrous Rage not the greatest into a lot of interaction. They have another Flood Pits here. They're really tempoing me nicely. I could technically leave the Frenzy up when they attack me with everything and like kill the Tidebinder. I think that's probably what I should do. Instead of dealing them free damage here with the Rage on my mouse. I'm hoping they attack everything, but the way this game has played, it would surprise me if they wouldn't attack with everything. But this could be a moment where they show their skill level by playing around Frenzy. Sniffing it out in a way. Have to do it pre-combat because of Kaito, although Kaito is unlikely to be in their deck, but... Alright, interesting. Interesting to use, like, against MonoRed, there isn't really much reason to do it in their turn there. This was a bit hasty, like, not giving me the information that, like, now, this thing is double striker now, with 2 power here and Rage, and if that was their last removal, I mean... Now they're gonna shuffle here. They should have held up the Go for the Throat. That was just a really big misplay. Seriously. There's no reason to play it there. No reason I can think of, at least. I guess the reason to play it there is if I have a burn spell, I can like shoot my own Nemesis to I guess I keep them on, yeah. To you know, deal more damage, but in a racing situation like that with them on 12 life, I think you would be more worried that a burn spell of mine goes to a Tidebinder, for example, which was sort of the prime target there. So I wouldn't even... I think that was just loose play. And I mean, the purpose of me calling out my opponents here is not necessarily to like bash them. It's also to, you know, like I can explain my perspective on each and every game, and you can take insights from that. But if I show you what opponents can do better, then you also learn from that, right? Like you learn how to play Dimir against MonoRed and not to make those mistakes that my opponent did there. Again, the matchup isn't great. My opponent had a really solid draw. I'm flooding out a little bit. GG, I suppose. The Fountain Port is lethal now too, so if I draw a removal, I'm dead to the fish. And at 6 life, yeah, I think I'm out of luck here. Yeah. Don't think any card in my deck. I would have needed to draw like Emberheart into Monstrous Rage. Yeah, that would have worked, I guess, but not against the Revenant. All right, GG, lost to the Dimir deck. That's fine. So let's see. Another mulligan. Okay. All right, this is a pretty good hand. Decision. I think I'm just gonna bottom the Sanctuary, actually. I think it's that or Burst Lightning. But, you know, all my spells cost 2 mana or less. So I'm kind of okay with this. Okay, is that Jeskai perhaps? This guy is kind of good against Lightning Helix. Huh. Not really sure what I'm up against. I mean, the only like tier 1 deck that this plays is Jeskai Control, which Emberheart is kind of bad into. So maybe I'll just play the Lizard first. Perhaps I'm playing around too much here. I was kind of hoping to draw a mountain here so I could protect my Emberheart from a Lightning Helix. Now I'm kind of forced to do something, unfortunately. I could also do nothing, I guess, and just be more patient. I feel like it's a very obvious removal. I'm just gonna pass. I don't know if this is too next level. Yeah, it's Jeskai. Lockdown also really good against my hand. But I don't think I can play around Lockdown as well. I have to press the issue. I have to do some attacks. Be aggressive. I certainly feel smart about playing around Helix. Yeah, or playing around that. It's even better for me. It doesn't gain them free life. My Emberheart would have just died if I would have played it with no rage open. That was a good play. In hindsight, I mean. But yeah. Beza here. At least it's just 2 modes. Okay, so if I do this on the Emberheart, I can then Burst Lightning the Beza in combat, right? Otherwise, I can Frenzy. I can Frenzy the Beza and like hit them for. I can also Burst Lightning their face, I guess, and hit them for 5, 7, 8 if they don't chump block. They go to 7. This is just a way higher damage output, and not playing this is bad into. Playing this is bad into Lockdown here, but I don't know if my hand is not really capable. Like if these two would be 2 Nemesis or something, my hand would be capable of beating Knockdown maybe, but I think I just have to hope they don't have it. And just hope to end the game quickly here. Yeah. If they have Lockdown, I'm in big trouble. I mean, I'm literally I'm in big trouble, yeah. They're at 11 and I have 2 frenzies in my hand. We're kind of running into the bad matchups here, maybe like Jeskai Control with Lightning Helix, Beza, and Lockdown is really good against MonoRed, as we all know. I do have 4 Lynx in the sideboard. Those are excellent in the matchup. Ill-timed Explosion here. That one's not that good against Nemesis, for what it's worth. Day of Judgment a little bit better, but Ill-timed is a pretty nice card. That. Oh look, there. Okay, wow. Yeah, they're playing a go bigger version. Oh my god, the pain. Certainly getting a little unlucky so far. Yeah, they're playing a way go bigger version of Jeskai, which, yeah, you can do. Yeah, they're 10 live. I mean, yeah. I think I'm okay conceding this game. I think this is just a waste of time. All right. So I suppose I can take a look at the sideboard guide again. And we can again not follow it. All right. So Jeskai taking out the 4 lizards, fair. Doesn't really deal that much damage. Taking out the burst lightnings and 1 frenzy and 1 lightning strike, which I don't play. Okay, and then adding this, and this. Makes sense. I mean, this is something I could have figured out on my own. They're not setting in the Ghost Vacuum, which I agree with. So I have a little bit fewer sideboard cards for this matchup, so I guess I have to leave in like Burst Lightnings. This Lizard doesn't strike me as that bad. Frenzy, we have like 5 answers to big creatures. It's almost too many. Yeah, I feel like I would have liked another card for a matchup like this in the sideboard. I don't know what it would be, but like another card for control. Like even blue-white control would be the same thing. Like you would just be too. This is not good. Like playing all these shitty removal spells is not good. I would feel more comfortable if like some of these would be different. I'm thinking maybe even I think Burst Lightning might even be better than all these 5 damage effects. I mean, I guess they play a lot of creatures. They play Beza and Shiko 4 times. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm just gonna follow them, I guess. Maybe it's fine. But I think still it's a little too many. Like the same thing could happen that happened last game, right? Where I just drew 3 frenzies. Same thing could theoretically happen here. It's the same amount of removal. But to be fair, that was very unlikely to happen, right? Like I play 4 frenzy and I drew 3 out of 4. I keep mulliganing. I'm definitely not getting so lucky today. I think the Heartfire Hero is just worse than the Nemesis. Especially without any way to pump the hero, and considering that they likely have 4 copies of Lockdown, makes me inclined to want to keep the 3 mana card as well. Nemesis is really annoying for Jeskai, especially if they play Ill-Timed Explosion as a sweeper. Like at that point, they're down to like what removal they have, like Get Lost for it. Maybe that's like the only clean answer. Maybe Split Up. Okay, fair enough. Flash Freeze being good. Favorite Passage. Not a Nemesis. A lot of basics again here. My Lynx not looking too good. Like a Right's End. Get Lost, okay. Yeah, this matchup, I mean, I keep mulliganing. I'm getting a little unlucky here and there, but the matchup doesn't feel great. I think I'm just going to start with this. Funny. Hired Claw. I would keep it if I had a Rockface Village, I think. But I think it's a little too low powered at this point. If they have a Shiko here, that would be not great. Alright, I'm okay with that. That's not a Shiko. I got a higher claw anyways. So the Lynx deals them 2. Not great. But I feel like I should just use my mana and get a big body down. Just playing a higher claw seems like I'm not winning the game that way. And this way I could potentially luck out and they don't have an answer to the Lynx, and that's 5 damage, which is huge here. Like it's really what I need to claw back into this game. in the tank. Okay. That is 5 damage, plus Burst Lightning. Kicked now. I wonder if I should play the Claw. I guess they could have actually had a 2-mana removal there. The Fatal Passage being untapped. They're really good against Sunspine Lynx with all these passages. Man, Rockface Village would be so good. Rockface Village is excellent against control decks. I think I'm just gonna pass and Burst Lightning in their face. I feel like I don't wanna play a Claw and then they just go Ill-Timed Explosion and kill everything. It seems like they have a sweeper, right? They don't have a 2-mana removal answer for this, so the other way they could kill this is a sweeper, so I'm just gonna play around a sweeper then. I guess they could have Shiko. In which case the Hired Claw is actually lethal-ish. I mean, that would have killed both my Claw and my Lynx. They kept Enchantra post-board in this matchup. I don't like that. Chandra's not for a matchup like this. You want to be lean to the ground. I did have a lot of ways to kill my opponent there. I mean, not a lot. Lynx, Rockface Village, Nemesis, Burst Lightning, number 2. Yeah, I mean, Burst Lightning number 2 would have been better than this Frenzy here. I had 1 Frenzy and I needed exactly 1 Frenzy for the 1 Beza. Okay, maybe I exaggerated when I said that this deck has too many bad cards for like Jeskai. Maybe it's fine. I mean, Burst Lightning being deal 4, not that bad, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, this sounds finally I get to keep a C7 here. It's nice. Let's go with Claw, more damage, and triple Nemesis. You love to see that. You love to see that. Okay, well, I'm just gonna jam. It's an interesting set of lands here. No Lightning Helix. Da da da. Okay. I think I'm just gonna slam the Nemesis. I don't really see a good alternative line. Like I could go Emberheart plus map. But that's kind of bad into lockdown again. Okay. It was sort of to be expected, but I have more where that's coming from. Now I could hit a land with this. 4 mana pass. Alright, fine. I think I'm gonna do this and then pop the map immediately on it. Which means I will at least get the card from the Emberheart. They can kill it in response to deny maybe the map. But if they kill it in response, I'm also kind of okay with that. As it means that lockdown won't be effective. Alright, cool. Fine by me. Now I have a little bit of a choice to make. Do I want to crack the map or play a Heartfire Hero? It's still at 19, 17 this turn. I think I'm gonna play around a sweeper as much as I can. Okay, I mean, I'm not necessarily like this is actually like look at my hand. I have a Soulstone Sanctuary and 4 spells. Like now I'm just Okay, I have another answer, but I still have so many more threats coming here. And they're down to 1 card. They need a Stalker desperately, or a Shiko. Yeah, it looks like they're just flooding a little bit. I could get really aggressive. I mean, with the case as a backup, I kind of like going really aggressive here. They have another counterspell. Going Nemesis plus Mouse is my plan here. Alright, fair enough. Well, that worked out well too, because now I can double spell instead of going Offspring there or something. Alright, they have so many basics. If and this discard and draw if you have no cards in that. Okay, so I could turn this into 2 cards. But I think I'd rather just do this and then play a case and just have it flip. It's pretty good too. I mean, it's probably actually the clearly better line, yeah. So I put them to 7 and then I draw 3 cards in my upkeep. I like 3 cards in my turn essentially. Beginning of your upkeep, discard your hand and draw 2. So it's a draw 3 and keeps doing that. Wait. Oh wow, I didn't even know it works like that. Oh wow. I did not know it works like that. That makes it a lot better. Holy cow. Okay, so that makes it a lot better. I thought you... So that means you can, similar to Fear of Missing Out, you can just play it as your last card in hand and then just draw 2. That's amazing. I did not know it works like that. It's been around for like more than a year already. I guess, you know, usually you play Urabra's Forge in that slot for a long time. And then you had Questing Druid and Gruul, so you didn't really need this type of card. But yeah, okay. Well, a little better than I thought. Good to know, good to know. Alright, we beat Jeskai. They flooded out, only drawing 2 mana cards the entire game. No card advantage at all. That was a little lucky, I suppose. Alright, play first. These frenzies. I wonder if those guys are regretting playing 4. I don't know. You know, like, the thing is, Monstrous Rage, in a way, is similar to a Frenzy too, as it pushes through those big creatures. Yes, Frenzy can be very good, but it can also just be so bad when you don't have, like, the creatures to support it. Like, even if I had a 2-drop into the Nemesis here, and they just kill both of them, and I'm, like, sitting on these really clunky removal spells. Oh, this hand is hella awkward. I don't know if I'm beating many decks with a hand like this, honestly. My first play being a Nemesis and then these expensive cards, I don't see it. I don't see how this is gonna win me many games. It's kind of sad to mulligan a 4-card hand, but like a 4-land 3 spells hand that also had 2 man lands, or like 2 utility lands, right? It's kind of sad. Here I would love to know what I'm up against to make an informed decision on the Magebane Lizard. If I'm up against Prowess, I really want to keep it. If I don't play against Prowess, I really want to bottom it. Tricky. Ravaging Rose, what are you doing over there? What are you on? This certainly has kind of everything. But then again, Magebane Lizard could be really bad. I'm not willing to risk it. I'm just gonna go with the bread and butter good card. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna kill that. Could just be the mirror match, I guess. Could also be Prowess. Lots of mice. Of course it's Prowess. It's classic. If that situation would have occurred in like game 2 or 3, where I had to make that decision, I at least would have known, but it had to happen in game 1. That I'm put to that decision and I make the wrong call. It's a Monstrous Rage, maybe? I think I'm just gonna bluff my own Monstrous Rage. It's like I mean... Or like a shark, you know? They can't really block me there. That seems... They're doing it, yeah. They're risking it. Man, crazy. I guess you just have to get desperate when you're on the draw against MonoRed. Was I supposed to not do that, huh? Was I supposed to... Interesting. Oh, they really got me good there. I was hoping they would just be too afraid to do so. But they were not, in fact. Okay, that was a good draw. So now I can give both my mice 1+, trigger both Valiants and double strike, which is really good. Yeah, that last turn, I wonder how I should have played that. Opponent risking it and getting rewarded. I wonder if they should have just bounced my mouse token before I get into combat. Then I could only target one of them. They get rid of it for good. I mean, I have a hero with a Rockface Village now. That's not that good for you, actually. This thing is gonna get in there next turn. I might just win the good old-fashioned way. Oh my, stock up, tap out? Yeah, that's not gonna be good for you. They didn't draw any shock effects. Which is, you know, shock is still one of the best cards in the matchup. They tap out here? Is this just lethal? So this is 6, 10, 12, right? Yeah. Yeah. They just killed themselves to onboard lethal. Respectable. They knew about this Heartfire Hero. Doop. Doop. If they would have stayed back this game, I think it would have also been a loss for them, but it would have been a little bit interesting, at least. All right, let's take a quick look at the sideboard guide again. Oh, I guess, okay, fine. I'll do a little mini game. I'll sideboard as how I would sideboard, and then we go from there. So I didn't see any like indication of how many Drake catchers or slick shots they run. If they have, it kind of depends on if you want Barrage. I think you want Barrage probably regardless. Or maybe you just play, I don't think Frenzy is very good. Maybe you just play Scorching Shot as it can hit everything. But Barrage is obviously a lot better against specifically Draycatcher, and it does kill an auto token as well. It's not very good against Swiftspear and Slickshot though. Okay, I'm gonna take a look how they sideboarded. Okay. Wow. They added in the frenzies. Okay. I guess I'm underestimating the effectiveness of this card. They took out Swift Spears and Lightning Strikes and have all this. This is how their deck looks post board. So they're essentially saying that in a racing situation, I guess, the Frenzy can be very good as a defensive card too. I think that's the reason why it's in here. Essentially saying it's a very racing matchup, and when they attack you with a bunch of monks or Slickshot or something, you can maybe get them. I think that's the reason, but 4 of them is a lot. I don't know, like, so it's a lot. There can be draws where Izzet has like multiple shock effects to kill you guys and plays like a defensive game, and then your frenzies look pretty embarrassing. Interesting hand. Opponent kept the 7. Considering I have Magebane Lizard in my deck, I should probably mulligan a hand like this. That's a little sort of unexciting. Not one of the better hands. For example, Torch the Tower. You could play 2 Torch the Towers instead of 2 Frenzies. I would have leaned towards doing that, personally speaking. Frenzy is more situational. Like a Torture Tower I could have used to kill the Swiftspear here. Yeah, I don't know about their sideboarding guide. Like, seriously. Not the biggest fan of their sideboarding guide so far. Some of their decisions look iffy. And that's where you still get an edge. I mean, those people won the tournament. And, you know, you could say I'm wrong. You could just say, like, hey, Arne is wrong. But, like, if they are not sideboarding in the very, very best way they could, that shows you that you can still gain an edge even there. And, like, there's so many little edges to be gained in Magic the Gathering. Okay, I mean, they had a really nice aggressive draw here. If they have another one drop, I mean, this is just a golden draw. It doesn't really get any better than this. Yeah, I mean, that's just the absolute nut draw on the play here. They didn't have Curry Steel Cutter, I guess, but like, who needs Curry Steel Cutter if you're killing this quickly anyways? 7 life. Can't... Yeah, I guess I'm playing Nemesis and just attacking with 1 claw. I'm kind of hoping they don't have more spells. Yeah, Sleight of Hand was brutal there. Another cantrip effect that can find them another spell is just exactly what I didn't want to see. Okay. Okay, so I have to chump block. I have to block 2 things, I mean, yeah. Yeah. And now the question is, I'm at 1 life. Against 3 creatures. They're at 14. They have a Cory. So if I put them to 11, I think there's just no way in the world I'm ever winning that game. So I have to kill this and then play... I can't cast this if I put the Lizard into play. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. Okay. So the Sylex is not actually for this matchup. Okay, the sideboard guide I'm looking at doesn't have the Sylex. Fair enough. It's funny, huh? Maybe, I mean, Sylex would have been good this game, I guess. You play Sylex in a... Just, I don't know, with these Frenzy. I mean, on the play, the Torture Tower is maybe less relevant, but... Torture Tower would have done something there. Frenzy, not really. Really not buying the Frenzy. Like, there are going to be situations where it's going to be great, but it's really situational, I would say. I think Torture Tower, there's just going to be more situations where Torture Tower will just be exactly what you want. What are these hands? It's so appealing to keep this, as this is just the best possible opening hand. But just no backing. I mean... Don't have Magebane Lizard again. Didn't need it in game 1 either. Maybe don't need it here. But as soon as if they have 1 shock effect, this hand kind of falls apart. Oh man, it feels tough to mulligan that one, not gonna lie. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna bottom a mountain, honestly. I feel like you kind of have to do that sometimes with MonoRed. The deck is very... Like, it doesn't really play any cards that cost more than 3 mana. With... So I think it's fine to bottom the 3rd land on some of these 6s you have. Yeah, if I would have kept my 7 here, they would have just torched my hero or my Manifold Mouse. To be fair, they can choose to do either. It would have turned out to be pretty bad for me. This is a little dangerous too. Fortunately, I can't Frenzy it, so it didn't keep the land. I guess I can attack, see if they block. No. Okay, I'll just play a second Lizard. Funnily enough, I'm kind of dealing myself a lot of damage with this hand. But hopefully they deal themselves more. It's kind of a free attack for them. The Rage is really, really rough for me. Don't think I can block there. Okay, they didn't have the Rage. It's a free attack for them, right? That doesn't cost them anything. But I think if their Rage is just a little too rough for me. Okay. Awkward. I should have kept my land, I guess, instead of this stupid Heartfire Hero. Yeah, maybe that was wrong to keep the hero, as it's like the only shockable creature I had. I don't know. I was just playing resourcefully. I would say I definitely keep having pretty underwhelming draws with this deck and like a lot of mulligans. I don't know if is that the MonoRed experience. I think I'm getting a little bit of the below MonoRed, yeah, variance. Let's see if these two lizards can get their job done. I mean, now I'm just gonna block twice, I guess. Let's see what they do. They have Rage. This is gonna be good for me. Yeah. The thing that would have been annoying for me is if they had, like if they just pass priority and then like shock a lizard post combat. So I can't really cast. Like, I can't really do anything about that. Whenever you attack with one or more lizards, I mean, that's also a synergy here. These guys deal damage with the claw. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play this and attack for 1. Kind of like to keep a lizard back. Not sure if I should level up my hired claw. I don't think they had a Monstrous Rage before. I think they found the Monstrous Rage with the Stalker because they didn't play Monstrous Rage on turn 3 to get a Drake, which would have been a pretty good spot to do so. So maybe they don't have a second one, so maybe I can block here. Or maybe this thing will also just... I think I'm just going to level this up. Also, getting this out of shock range seems really good. I might just take the damage, to be honest with you. I think I'm just going to take the damage. Or I might block... No, I think I'm just going to take the damage. If they have a Monstrous Rage, which is like the worst case outcome, they get like a Drake. It's fine. Okay. Down to 8. These lizards, they're just draining you out. Down to 6. Yeah. What they were missing here is that sort of deal damage spell for the lizard, right? That's what they needed here. Frenzy. So this is gonna make a Drake. Some spells up. I feel like I should just get my lizard out. I mean, these are so dangerous now at 6 life. Yeah. Sure. Like now, I can just attack with the claw and just Monstrous Rage it, right? Like what are they supposed to do? If they play another spell, they die, literally. They can't cast another spell. So they make a Drake here? They don't make a Drake. They just decide to... Okay. Fair enough. I mean... My guy's gonna die. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take 2. But yeah, if they cast a spell, they just die. Yeah. You take 4. Alright, yeah, I mean... there was just probably no way out of this puzzle for them. That's the effectiveness of Lizard in the matchup seen right there. Really glad I took the mulligan from that Manifold Mouse hand. I think that hand would have probably lost this game pretty easily. But the Lizard just did everything here. And yeah, I mean, Izzet Prowess needs, like, Flatmo is not a good answer to it. Izzet Prowess needs like 2 mana deal 5, 2 mana deal 4, unable to scream, stuff like that, which some people play, right? So my opponent just didn't draw any of that. And there we go, MonoRed with Lizards beating Prowess. Play first. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. Not too bad of hand. No 1-drop, but I can work with this. Classic MonoRed. Yeah, I mean, next turn I'm threatening the good old 12er. Heirloom. Who doesn't like 12 damage, right? Put some 2. Yeah, that seems one of the quick ones here. No interaction from the opponent. Burst Lightning. I just give up. That's funny. Okay, so mono green monsters, I guess. I don't want the lizards. I guess Scorching Shot and Torch the Tower. I mean, I don't have anything else really. I don't think Craze of the Crimson Pulse is going to be effective. Yeah, it's pretty simple sideboarding. They probably have Llanowar Elf. I can at least Torch the Tower that one. Maybe sacrifice a Rage token or a Manifold Mouse token if I want to kick my Torch the Tower. Yeah, I mean, this is a fine hand. It's not one of the better ones, but it has 1-drop, 2-drop, and Frenzy. Okay. Scorching Shot a bit awkward with all these lands. It's kind of funny. You only have 16 actual sources for Scorching Shot, which is kind of low, right? Because you play 4 Village, 2 Sanctuary. 16 sources for a red card is low. Definitely means you can't cast it on turn 2 often. Like in this game. I think I'm happy trading here. Offering the trade. That thing is going to grow bigger and bigger. But they don't even want to take the trade. Well, there you go. Next turn I can maybe go Frenzy, Emberheart, attack all Frenzy. That would be a nice turn. What does it say? Oh, it fights my guy. That's why they wanted to keep it. Well, all right. Manifold Mouse. I think I'm just gonna go aggressive here. I'm just gonna ignore. Like I could try to frenzy this thing, or I could just frenzy it here. But drawing Manifold Mouse makes me just kind of want to end the game. If they want to go into a race with the Bloomkin, I'm gonna beat them. That's my thinking here. And the extra card they draw of the Heirloom, by tapping that, that's fine. Heirloom is a cool card. Decently. Ooh. Alright. I mean, fair enough, I guess. They're going defense now. How about I go Manifold for 2 mana? Pump this up. Oh, I could. No, I can't. I can't double kill these because I don't have triple red. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Manifold for 2 mana. 2 mana. Give this double strike, and then kill this. Attack for 6 damage. Seems like a good turn. Yeah, seems like a great turn, to be honest. Yeah, there's not an alternative play either, really. No, there isn't. No, this is just by far and away the only sensible option here. Yeah, I mean, these two are going to be fantastic against. Yeah, I mean, hitting Monstrous Rage is a little sad, but there was no way. Like, I could have cast Mouse and then go into combat, but then I would need to attack with the Swiftspear to be able to kill the Bailoff. So that wouldn't be good either. Yeah, these two guys are just insane against the mono green opponent. They need fight spells for these. Yeah, I mean, sure, this is nice, but this is not going to be able to beat my double striking prowess creature. Especially if they're not even dealing me damage. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Nemesis can get in there too. Well, wait, let me think about this actually. If I just make this a free, then they can block it, which that wouldn't be good. Yeah, I played this a little too fast, perhaps. It's tricky. Maybe I don't care, actually. Yeah, maybe I don't care. I have so much going on. I have the Sanctuary. Like if my Emberheart dies, I don't think I care. I have the Sanctuary, which is also a mice. And this just allows for a pretty clean turn, where I can attack with both of these. And I let him block. This could... Okay, they just don't block. This is great for me. I mean, I just get to deal so much damage now. If I would have tapped out for the Frenzy pre-blocks, they could have just blocked here, right? Now I still have the Emberheart for next turn. They level that, okay. Draw a card there, sure. And yeah, I mean, the life total is dwindling. Okay, I guess I start with this. Another Frenzy. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, well, there you have it. 3-1 with MonoRed. Winning against Jeskai Control. Izzet Prowess with the Magebanes and against the mono green beefy brew here. And losing to Dimir midrange while mulliganing a lot and just having awkward draws. Well, also Dimir midrange, I think, is one of the harder matchups for MonoRed. Pretty impressive. Yeah, this deck does what it does. It's still good. The Magebane Lizard gives us a plan against Izzet Prowess. I think it's certainly attackable. Temporary Lockdown, Authority of the Console, stuff like that. Very good against it. Big black creatures like demons, 6/6 demons are quite nice against MonoRed. But, you know, MonoRed has tools. MonoRed is still one of the most powerful decks in the format. The Manifold Mouse stuff is really strong. And yeah, so really cool to see the development of the meta game, things shifting around a little bit, the numbers shifting again, and just again, Percy, Quinn, you did fantastic at the events this weekend. Congratulations to the team of MonoRed players, and also Max Medeiros, which I took the sideboard guide from. He was, I think, 21st in the regional Hartford event, regional championship Hartford, qualifying also for the PT. So just a sick run by these guys, really respectable stuff, and yeah, cool to see. Canadian Regional Championship coming up this weekend. We'll probably see more MonoRed being picked up there, but yeah, it's going to be exciting to witness what, you know, is the next step in the development of this meta game, and how people will attack the MonoRed players. Maybe there's going to be more Jeskai control. Maybe there's going to be more black mid-range decks with high toughness creatures to fight both MonoRed and to fight, of course, Izzet Prowess, which is still going to be a big player in the format. All right, well, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Take care.